Hello, mistresses of Dom Space, and welcome to tonight's session with MelRose Michaels, the founder of Sexwork CEO, who will be coming to present to you GPTs tonight, that an amazing AI assistant that helps with content creation for adult entrepreneurs that she created. I know some of you have heard of it. I know some of you have used it. So tonight she will be showing you how to use it, make the most of it. And if you have questions, it is your opportunity to connect with her, speak with her. So before we begin, I'm just gonna say hello to Valentina. Hello, Valentina. Hello, Mistress Marcel. Hello, Dom Dayanara. Good evening. Good evening, Mistress Celine and Dom Dea. Hello. Hello, Mistress Red and Domina Morgana. All right, ladies, so this will be available in the replays of the Dom Space library, and it will be available otherwise for everyone in the community in the pinned post until the end of the month for everyone that can watch it. And MelRose is now going to take over and introduce herself.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. Hi, everyone. Oh, sorry about that. Hi, everyone. I wanted to kind of take this time to reach out to the Dom community. I see you guys on GPTs a lot, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of the product. Just a little bit of background on me, if you're not familiar with me. I've been in the adult industry since 2011, so just over 13 years now. I got started originally in the cam space, and then when I realized people weren't really, consistently attending cams anymore, I realized they were more giving their attention to phones. And that's when I migrated to the phone space. I kind of made my name in premium Snapchat at that time. And then obviously the OnlyFans boom came around. I captured that. And ultimately, now that I'm a decade into the industry, my whole goal was to find ways to give back to the industry that I felt gave me everything I have. I feel very blessed and lucky to have been able to be in this space and also be out of a survival stage and able to, give back to the creator community. Something I'm very passionate about. All of my businesses are for creators, about making their businesses easier and giving them tools to make their business easier, and also just advocating for creators, for lawmakers and policymakers here in the US. So it is just core to who I am and what I care about deeply. And I think that, and I hope that shows up in the things we talk about today and the products we've built for you guys. So today, what I wanted to do is really go into GPTs for your specific use cases. So I have done dumb stuff, throughout my many years in the industry. It's not the main core of my brand. It's not what I present my brand face forward doing, but it is something that goes down a lot in my DMs. I do have a large list of fans segmented to this kind of online work. And I've used and utilized tools to make that a lot easier for myself, GPTs obviously being one of them. And so I wanted to kind of go over GPTs, do like a mini crash course, because I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar based on what Mistress Malissia has told me. And then also go into some things that maybe you didn't know GPTs could be helping you with. Because we're expanding the tool. I can't say too much about that part, but you should keep your eye on it because we're going to be rolling out some very big, meaningful changes that will definitely help with revenue in the coming months. We're in beta testing for those things now. So this will be a crash course, a deep dive, and then also just a new way of looking at a tool that I think can make you guys' lives a little bit easier, a little simpler. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to share my screen and show you GPTs to give you the initial crash course. Let me know if you guys can see this okay. Does this look good, everyone?
Yes, we can see.
Awesome, wonderful. Okay, so when you log into GPTs for the first time, if you're unfamiliar, it is free at the most basic level to use. When you join, you'll get a free trial for 7 days. And then after 7 days, it will limit you back down to one prompt a day. But given this context, I want to make sure creators know that if one prompt a day means, write me 30 Dom fetish content or kink ideas for the next 30 days of my content calendar, it'll give you 30 ideas. So you can still get a lot out of it, even with that one initial prompt. I just wanted to make sure this tool was accessible for all creators at all levels of whatever their financial status is, and that one prompt is a meaningful way for us to do that. So how this works essentially is it's very similar to a ChatGPT-like product. The difference with ChatGPT is, a few months ago anyways, it was near impossible to get ChatGPT to give you anything explicit related. It is loosening up its grip slowly and surely, which is positive for our community and for us. Not great for our product, but that's why we've got new things coming out. In addition to that, I wanted to say that GPTs is different from ChatGPT or other products in the fact that it is made by a creator for creators in by a sex worker for sex workers. And this means that it is our own AI. It's not just like a new portal to access ChatGPT or some of these other well-known AI products. It is its own AI independently, and it's built and trained on the things that we know about from our, collective many years of experience as creators, and that's why it's so good and so effective. Some things I want to point out. This text box here is where you would prompt GPT. So you can ask it anything like give me humiliation tasks for my subscriber, or what is a Dom kink, certain kind of fetish video I should film this week. You can ask it pretty much anything, but there's different modes you can ask it in. So search mode, if you click that on, it's going to pull real-time information and data from online. So if you wanted to search what are the biggest kink and fetish videos that are trending right now on Pornhub, and you hit the search button, it's going to pull that information real time from online and give you stuff that you can capture trend-wise to go out and then recreate, which is super useful if you're trying to bump revenue, if you're trying to ride a wave or a trend. This is something that's a really great feature. This think mode is when you send your first prompt, it should turn on by itself. It makes the product of GPTs just that much more effective. It gives it almost a framework of critical thinking to process the questions you're asking it from. So if you're asking it for subtasks for your subscriber or fan for the day, it's going to use critical thinking to do those subtasks in the correct order versus just listing you tasks. Or it'll think about it critically on what is the gradual more humiliating way of dragging these tasks out. Like, it's going to give you that framework to think through these prompts that's going to be way more valuable and way more useful to your actual workflows as DOMs. Now here we have more prompts. If you're not familiar with prompting in AI, you can go through some of these pre-filled prompts, and if you click on it, it will pre-fill the prompt for you, which can be really useful if you're not really great at prompting. Prompting in AI is obviously its own art and science. So if you're not sure where to start, you can explore some of these, and not only will you start to see kind of the style of how to prompt and kind of learn how to prompt through that process, but it should help you get really good results without even having experience with prompting. And then there's this to access the prompt, and then there's some pre-filled prompts you can just click on that'll populate at the bottom. These will rotate through, so you'll see different ones pretty much every time you log into the interface. The other thing I want to bring your attention to, because this is kind of a newer piece of GPTs, is the ability to upload images or documents. Documents is useful if you want to train GPTs on stuff you already have. A year ago or two, AI wasn't really something we were using in the sex work or adult space. So maybe you have, all of these scripts in Google Docs that you want to give to your GPTs to make it work better for you and to learn from you. Or maybe you want to give it a content calendar you made manually and then have it help you script things for each video that you manually thought of and came inspired to create. That's where this document is going to come in. But this other one, and this is the thing I think creators and DOMs and just sex workers alike are underusing, is the image upload feature. So a great use case for this, and this is going to kind of take us into all of the ways you can use GPTs, is to screenshot your OF DMs or your loyal fans DMs or whatever platform you call home. Screenshot what a fan has said to you last, and then prompt GPTs by uploading the screenshot here to help me come up with a reply to this fan that is going to, and then insert your goals. So help me reply to this fan in a way that's going to get them to send me a tip tribute. Help me reply to this fan in a way that's going to make them go back and purchase the locked content I sent them 2 messages ago. Help me, and it'll help use not only the right language for being a Dom and being in kink and fetish, because it's going to be trained and personalized to you, but it will also use sales psychology in that, and it'll use language that helps them and entices them to purchase. It will also be relevant to the screenshot of the conversation. So if they had said something like, you've already drained my wallet, mistress, it'll work that in to the context of how it suggests that you reply. So using this image upload, where I kind of find myself using it more often than not, is screenshotting fan messages when I have a certain goal in mind, and then having the AI help me collectively help to respond to them to reach that goal. The other thing you can use image upload for that I've seen a lot more, even mainstream creators use it, is for social media captions. So maybe you want to put out, a thumbnail of a video on Twitter, for example, and you want to caption it really well so that it gets a lot of engagement or a lot of retweets or a lot of comment replies. You can upload that thumbnail to GPTs because you can upload explicit content. It can read explicit content and it will work with your explicit content. We don't save any of the content on our end. It's not cached. We don't have it on our servers. It's only in use and then it disappears after it's been sent and responded to. So you can ask it like, how would I caption a tweet using this thumbnail of this new hypnosis video, for example? It'll give you the caption and hopefully it'll help you achieve that goal that you have in mind. So this is where the image upload has been really useful. The other few things before we jump in is you have a library here of all of your past chats. So you can always go back to past chats. You can also click here and pin past chats. So for example, I have this past chat pinned here that is TikTok to OnlyFans funnel. So how I can make TikTok scripts that have a hook and have a body and drive them to OF, something I would go back to pretty consistently in my just business and in my workflow. So I have it pinned here at the top. Another thing that's really interesting, this is going to take us into the meat and bones of this, is being able to edit in Canvas. So for example, let's say I'm going to prompt, help me script a foot fetish video for a subscriber. That's, let's say, 10 minutes long. I have two personas. Like I mentioned, Dom is not my main persona. My main is like very girl next door vanilla. So this is in my MelRose. This is my vanilla persona. But if you have different personas as a Dom, maybe you have a persona that's very degrading and humiliating, because some fans will lean towards that. And then maybe you have a persona that's more the very sweet soft Dom. You can have a separate persona for that. And then you can toggle between these drop downs to get different outputs from GPTs that are more aligned with each persona. And I think this is really useful because not every fan is looking for the same outcome. And even if it's all under the Dom umbrella, then not necessarily all the same approaches are the same thing. So for this 10-minute foot fetish video, this is under my vanilla drop down, and it's going to give me the script that I want for this video. Now, what I can do, and this is what I want to show you, is at the end, is that you can take these scripts and you can edit them in Canvas. If you are, before I jump into that, if you are a very frequent GPTs user, you might realize I only had one response instead of two. You can actually now change your response options. If you want still the double responses, you can do that, and then you'll get the two responses. In, let me say, make it longer. This way you can see the two responses come up. And now you can go here and you can toggle to having just a one response. This is really useful if you guys are working on mobile, because you can save GPTs to your home screen, you can make it a mobile app. But sometimes the two responses on mobile I find is a little bit much to read and like sift through on such a small screen, and that's why I'll typically go to one response on my GPTs. But when you are new and you're using this for the first time, you send a prompt, you'll see two different things populate. This direct option on the left is a direct response. So the way I would describe that is it's going to try to give you exactly what you want first try, hitting the nail on the head. So this is going to be definitely a 10-minute foot fetish script, but maybe it's not going to be all that creative or exciting or, something that would be outside the box. That's where the second creative response comes in. This one is going to be way more creative. It's going to be way more outside the box. It's going to probably push your own limits of inspiration because, as creators or DOMs, like you tend to get locked into what you commonly do a lot of. I find I lean on this creative response a lot more often because of the fact that it's usually better or outside my norm or pushes me in a direction that maybe I don't consider. So I prefer the creative response. And then once you've selected your response out of the two, I want you to note you can always go back to the other response by clicking this arrow down here. So your response is never gone. It's always there available to you. And then now that we've seen, how to edit your responses and which ones to pick, I want to show you again how we can take this and edit it into Canvas. So if we click this edit button, it's going to open up Canvas for us. I wanted to build out this feature because I don't want you guys to just have to copy this stuff into Google Drive to save it somewhere or to like locate it later. Obviously, sometimes we make a really great script or a really great content drip or a really great sexting drip or a really great task or humiliation tasks like drip. And when we're doing that, I want you guys to have a place to come back to them. So you can edit everything in here. And the beauty of once you've edited something in here, is that you can use AI to edit it, and then anything you continue to do in this main chat after you've edited it will reflect your edits, which is a feat in itself, very hard to do technically. That's why I'm very proud of it. But let's say in this part of the script, when it says, watch how I oil make this shine, let's edit this. Watch how I make this oil makes me shine like I'm ready for your tongue, drips oil between toes, messy boy. So I can highlight this part that I want to edit. I can edit it with AI, and I get some options here. So reimagine is essentially regenerate. So it's going to have you regenerate everything all over that you've highlighted only. More descriptive, it's going to basically go into more descriptive or more graphic language. Expand is going to go into more detail, lengthen that statement or that chunk that you highlighted, or align with brand. So for me, right now, I'm in my vanilla persona brand, so I can click it and have it be more aligned with brand, which will probably take away some of the dommier elements that are in the script, just because the current persona I'm under is my vanilla persona. If I was under my Dom persona and I clicked more aligned with brand, it would get more dommy and use more Dom language. So this is a quick way of doing that. Or, and we left this open for the real like superior AI prompters, you do a custom prompt here. So maybe I want to name drop, instead of just oil, I want it to be baby oil. Let's baby oil specifically, because this fan also has a baby, what is it? What's that fetish? Adult child something.
ABDL.
Yeah. Okay, and then I will hit that. And now it's going to use my custom prompt, and it's going to start to change this. Okay, so baby oil is now imported there. On your tongue drips oil between messy little baby. So it's incorporating some of that language in there that we wanted to change. And also, you should know you have free range to just edit this just like a Google Doc. Just if you wanted to delete something out, boom. If you wanted to highlight, bold, whatever, turn something into a header, like all of these things are available to you. And then you will just click save when you like it and you are ready. When you click save, all of these changes are going to be reflected right here in the chat. So you can see this edit is right here. And then anything we do going forward, it will reflect this change in the new responses GPTs gives you. So it's very buildable. You can now take your script, run with it, perfect it, get it exactly where you want it. And once you've taken anything into Canvas to edit it, it is going to now save itself in this library section of where your past chats and history are. So this is going to kind of become your almost Google Doc central of all the stuff you've ever edited, tweaked, perfected. You can go in there and you can name it. You can change everything so it's very easy to find. So what is it, ABDL?
Yes.
Not one I come across very often, but you can save things so they're easy to locate, easy to come back to, and easy to reuse again and again, because obviously your time is money. The quicker you can get to things you need, the more money you stand to make. So this library becomes available. You won't see it until you've edited something in Canvas. So as soon as you've gone through that process, this library option will appear and you'll start to see them like this. You can change the view, of course. I just prefer it to look like a Google Doc personally. Okay, so now I want to go into some use cases because I want to talk to you guys about the ways that maybe you haven't thought about using GPTs, or maybe you just haven't gotten it, into it for these specific use cases first. So we've already talked a little bit about custom DM responses. So I would love to be able to screenshot and give you a real, let me use Sex Panther. I'm gonna go into my Sex Panther. I'm sure I've got a chat there that will be dummy enough for us to pull for this. And then I'll upload it, and this way you can visibly see kind of the way it gets some responses. So let me pull a chat. I know the perfect fan for this. It's going to be a use case for you guys. So this fan is very needy. You're going to see when I give you this chat that I haven't responded to this fan at all. I'm more into ignoring him and letting him send money. I'm sure you guys have some fans like that. So let me share this with you. Let me download it. Okay. Are any of you guys using Sex Panther? I know it's very US based that. Oh, you are. Good. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to upload this image. And this is going to be the chat. Let me pull it in here real quick so you can see it. So this is kind of what the screenshot looks like. So you okay? Miss you lots. Hope you're doing okay. Start sending money, pokes, $10, pokes, sending tips, whatever, which is lovely. And now I'm going to ask GPTs how to respond to this fan. So I'm doing this under a DOM context. Let me toggle this. Actually, I might have to re-add it. Okay, there we go. Make sure that you toggle the personas before you send the prompt. It won't work after you send the prompt, and it'll stay in that persona for the whole chat. So if you start in like a vanilla persona or a humiliation, whatever non-persona you want to use, if you want to switch, you'll have to start a new chat, turn it on, and then switch. Okay, so I have been ignoring this fan. And now I want to re-engage them and demand they spend more for me to give them attention. Help me write the perfect response to their current chat games. Okay, so let me spell things right. Not my strong suit. That's not what we're here for. Okay, I've been ignoring this user and fan, and now I want to re-engage them and demand that they send me more for me to give them attention. Help me write the perfect response to their current chat and DMs. I have think mode activated. It's going to give you the best outcome, and I'm going to click send. Now I believe I have my two responses still turned on. Perfect. And then we're going to get our direct response, which is, GPT is trying to give you exactly what you want, what you came for. And then we have the creative response. So I tend to lean more on creative, but we'll see what this one gives us. And we are in the right persona, so it should have a lot of that DOM flair or language. So this is a pretty long response, this one that is trying to give me. So let's see. And it is also giving us some breakdown of why it's choosing what it's choosing. Wonderful. Okay, so here's the first response. I've noticed you've been desperately poking around for my attention, sending those pathetic little tips and messages like a lost puppy. $21, how cute. But that's barely a whisper in my world, not pride. Oh, that's funny because that's his name. But it also works in context. If you think that's enough to drag me back into your orbit, think again. I'm a goddess who demands real tribute. Show me you are worthy by sending me something substantial, or I'll keep ignoring you like the insignificant speck you are. Now, since you've gone through the trouble of tipping, I'll throw you a bone. Tell me how much more you're prepared to spoil me with, and maybe, just maybe, I'll grace you with a private reply. What's it going to be, pathetic little one? Spill it. So that's the first one. That's a great option. And then this one says, oh, look who finally decided to crawl back, a whole $21. Cute. You think pocket change buys my attention? I've been choosing to ignore you because you're begging like a broke puppy. Want me to care? Prove your devotion. $100 right fucking now. Till then, please stay silent and remember your place. And it gives you some tone breakdown. It tells you it's incorporating the call to action. It gives you the psychology behind this one, why this was going to work. Also, next steps. If he pays, reward him with 1 to 2 teasing voice notes. So it also makes some suggestions. So I like them both, but I think this one is more to the point and more conversational. So I would pick this. So this is an example of how you could use this to help with DM responses. And doesn't really matter what the message is. It can come in and it can give you some support. If you wanted to use this prompt or a similar prompt, it's an easy one to copy and paste. And then once you get here, you can highlight and you can take this into Canvas by clicking this pencil as well if you wanted to edit any of that. You can obviously copy it from here. You can copy it also from here at the bottom. And that will either copy as plain text or with formatting. And you can take it and send it on TextPanther. And now you've got this fan re-engaged and hopefully spinning again. So that is use case number 1 with the DM approach. Now, let me go back. Another way that I noticed and have seen creators and DOMs specifically also use this is for creating role play scenarios. So you can ask it to generate interactive storylines to get fans immersed in like custom DOM sub scenarios. So if you're ever feeling uninspired or you're not sure how to go into a specific role play, GPTs can support you in the fact that it knows a lot of role play niches, a lot of DOM sub power dynamics, a lot of different kinds of fetish and kink. So maybe even if you're not super familiar like me with the ABDL, it can come in and support you with those role plays because GPTs is very familiar with all of them. So if you want to do a role play scenario, you can go into that too. So help me create a role play scenario for a BBL with a fan. Again, think mode turned on for best results. And then it's going to start generating one or two of those. While it generates those, I'm going to discuss some of the really easy and simple ones, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are already doing. Anything with creating scripts, scripts you can do audio notes of, or scripts you can do little clips of, whether that's responding to the last message, whether that's actual kink, whether that's a task message, asking them to do a task or a humiliation thing. Those scripts, GPTs is really strong at writing all those scripts out for you. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So ABDL with fan. Okay, so to make it sound like your style. Okay, so here, this is all the explainer of it. And then here it is. So clickbait SEO optimized title. So it also gave me an SEO optimized title that's going to help you rank with search rankings if you use this as a clip store video that you sell, or anywhere else where SEO comes into play. Surrender Mommy Melrose, brutal ABDL, humiliation, financial submission, watch me break you into the pathetic little baby you are. Fantastic. And then it goes into the scenario script and the scene summary. So, and it tells you it's got SEO baked in for Twitter, clips for sale, and things like that. In my personalization settings, it lists all the platforms I post to. So it knows I post to clips for sale. It knows I use ManyVids. It knows I use OF and what have you. So it optimizes because it knows that from your personalization. Scene summary, and then here we go into the actual script. So for a video or sexting session, it has specifics. All right, you pathetic little baby, crawl your diapered ass over here right now. I'm Mommy Melrose. Da 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 da. I don't like when it goes into my hair. It likes that, but I'm not in the mood for whining today. Look at you, sucking on that pacifier like the useless infant you are. Pathetic. Now strip down, show mommy the soggy diaper. So obviously it can do this fetish and kink. Goes into the whole script. This one on this side, the more creative response. Again, it has an SEO title for you, a little bit of scene setup. It even gives you some suggestions on how to position yourself with the camera. Then it goes into the script. So again, same kind of language. It's using Dom, it's using the fetish and the kink we asked about. Even gives some stage direction, smacking a hairbrush against your palm. And it has this FinDom aspect because in my Dom settings, there's a FinDom personalization aspect. So you get the same output. Again, this helps you create those role play scenarios. So you would click one, you could edit it, you could save it, put it into good use, take it right into your platforms. Another way you can use GPTs in this niche specifically is going to be for obviously caption writing we talked about. Fantasy expansion is another really good one. So if you have a simple idea, like, what's something really common? Kneel for me is really common in this niche. You can expand it to a full part series where it takes it step by step, do this, do that, do this. Full fetish scripts, that's very common. Something I notice that this Dom umbrella doesn't use as often as mainstream, which I think could be really interesting, is taking it into interactive like gamification for engagement. So using kind of choose your own adventure stuff where you can have GPTs help you create almost like a tree web of things that could happen. So for my first task for my sub, I want him to do this. And then I want it to be choose your own adventure where I send him two clips, one of me saying, do this next, the other one saying, do this next, and he gets to choose which one to unlock. And whatever he chooses to unlock, that becomes his next task, and he goes to the next one. And then you have this new two option. So gamifying stuff like that is a great way. I love the choose your adventure specifically because you get more unlocks along the way and it keeps leading to more things. And the fans really love to see it through, especially submissive fans, because they're doing what they're told and then they don't know what's next. So that like curiosity factor really drives the unlocks and the sales. Also, like we mentioned a little bit, obedience tasks, daily rules for them to have to follow. GPTs can help with a lot of that. Um, Upselling ideas, that's something that is really great if you are a Dom that does any like video calls on SextPanther or similar platforms. Loyal Fans I know does that too. Live calls for like tribute sessions. You can help script those or like bullet point plan out what you want to happen in a 10-minute video call tribute session. Something else that I thought is useful that I do see the Dom space using is aftercare messages. So maybe you just finished a session with a fan and you want to leave them an aftercare message. Um, Help me write an aftercare message for a sub who just, we'll say, tagged himself. And again, think mode turned down for best results. And then it's going to script you that message that will kind of give that fan that closure and the right headspace to leave with, and also just the right care. Because with DOMs, especially on, I think sometimes the aftercare part gets lost online a lot versus in person. So this can be really, really useful if you want to incorporate this with a really unique or personalized aftercare message. There you go. Take a deep breath, clean yourself up, remember who owns you. Good, that's exactly where you belong. How are you holding up, pet? So all that same kind of language we would look for. Um, the other thing is boundary templates. GPTs can also help you draft some boundary templates if you want to establish what your sub or your fan is really comfortable with. So that's another use case for Dom specifically. And then the other thing that this is more mainstream and Dom related, but again, SEO for content titles, video descriptions on clips for sales. It's really great on getting all of your SEO keywords in there to help you rank on a platform like Clips for Sale. They don't outwardly talk about it, but their whole website is SEO based and it does rank. And then same with like social media posts, Reddit obviously ranks, Twitter obviously ranks in SEO. So utilizing that. If you are someone who is very data driven, which is like my bread and butter, I love to screenshot my OF statistics, like my earnings statistics and breakdowns. I will add that via the attach image button to GPTs, and I will typically I'll toggle to the direct option, so I'm not getting creative responses for this because it's all data and factual based. And then I will add the screenshot of my data and stats. And I will tell GPTs like, hey, based on my sales data and my earnings data from the last 30 days, what are some suggestions you would make for my business for the next 30 days on insert platform? And then it can give you some really like tangible tactical takeaways on like, hey, your subscription rate is dropping at this percent. I would run a sale or promotion that does this to capture a new audience and re-engage that subscription number and get it up. Or if your PPVs are dropping in your messages, here are some DM, drip messages that we can test that should really increase sales. So also just like the practical, tangible, tactical side, if you're using the screenshots, uploading them as images and prompting to the left side, that direct response option, you are going to get really great results with that for the business, like actual entrepreneurial side of things. And then last thing that comes to mind for your use case that I noticed Dom's doing is also like subjournals or task generators. So if you are doing, let's keep it on double response. Let's start a new chat because it's a different topic. So give me or generate, I'll say generates tasks for my sub to do over the weekend. And we'll send this, and then it'll generate a nice list of tasks that you can, even if you're like, I love this when I have a fan who is very submissive, loves to do tasks, and if I'm going to go away for a weekend, like I'll try to get them to fund my weekend offline and like to fund my weekend away, and then I'll schedule messages to drip to them where I'm asking them to do tasks even while I'm offline, which is really nice. So weekend humiliation tasks or financial tribute tasks, humiliation walk, things like this, cuckold fantasy session, ordering groceries, kneeling naked, come into a shot glass, CEI related, clothespins, breakfast in bed, all these things. So you can do things like that, tasks generation. And subjournals, I don't know if any of you guys keep or force your submissives to do subjournals, but sometimes I'll have them do that for me where I can read about all of the things they did to be obedient while I was away. So yeah, those are kind of the general use cases of where I see the Dom segment of our audience and our user base of creators really utilizing GPTs, or where I see them underutilizing GPTs. Do any of you have specific things you do in your Dom work that maybe you're not sure how to prompt for, or you're not sure how to utilize GPTs to help for? Because maybe I can help walk through that and kind of live prompt some of that for you here. So I want to make sure I got all of your guys' use cases covered, or at least the things you most commonly use specifically. Go into chat here. What difference between the app ChatGPT? Oh, okay. Great questions. Do we want to go into questions,
Yeah,
Mistress Malissia?
there was three questions, so we can go over the questions, and then if someone wants to use this opportunity to ask for the prompt, it would be great. So the first question was by Domina Morgana. This is incredible. I've been so underusing my access. How do we create the separate personas, please?
Yes, fantastic question. Okay, so here on the bottom left, you can I'll just close this so we can see. I think it'll stay closed. So on the bottom left, you have these options for your profile, switch organization. By the way, we just rolled out organizations, so you can now have teams on GPTs. The benefit of teams, and there's a minimum of 2 seats. So this works for creators that just have one personal assistant that helps them with their business. But the benefit of teams is you can give someone else access, their own individual login and access to your GPT's account, and you can set permissions. So they can't edit your persona or your personalization, but they can have their own chats, they can access chats. And this way, when they're doing things for you, maybe they're helping you with chat and DMs, maybe they're helping schedule your posts on your feed or schedule your social content. They can write all of those captions or write all of those DM messages in your brand persona, which is really great because it's very hard for any creators that use agencies or anything like that, or even personal assistants in general, to stay on brand and your correct tone of voice as a creator. It's very hard to replicate. So that's why we opened Teams organization, so you can have some assistance and some support that keeps you on brand. But here is really what you're asking about. So this is the personalization area. And there's some addition to that under memories, and I'll go into memories second. But from here, navigating to personalization, and this is where you're going to have the chance to build out your personalization. So you have the different toggles here that you can go between. You get 3 on the power plan, and then you get more if you upgrade to the team plan. So you would just name it, and then you would, in this box, let GPTs know about you to provide better responses. So this box, I would think of it as almost a catch-all box. It's anything you want the AI to know under this persona that you're toggled on or building. That's really important. So again, this is where I say I'm into financial domination, humiliation, other various forms of dom sub dynamic, power play, cuckolding, etc. So this is why you're going to see a lot of that FinDom kind of come up in my personal dom responses. And then you go to the second part, or you save and continue, and it'll bring you to the second part. This is where you're going to add genres that you play in, whether that's solo, whether that's role play, and then these aren't the only options. You can literally just start typing and it'll come up. So if I wanted to do whatever, it'll come up and then you would create it. And then you'd go on to your niche, select or type. Again, you can type them in, any niches that you're in. Any active platforms you are on. This is really important because, again, it's going to cater to your platforms. And then platform banned words. So if there are banned words you want to avoid, this is where you would come and implement that. We are aware of the banned words for OnlyFans, and I'll show you how you can restrict words from OnlyFans in your chats after this. But it's important to note that the platforms change their banned words and language all the time due to payment processors. So we're not going to be in real time all the time. If they've just changed something, our banned words might be missing something. But for the most part, we're very on top of it, and we keep all these banned words up to date. So again, you can go through suggested language to avoid, even for Instagram, Twitter, X, Sextmanther, whatever platforms. And then you're going to go here, and this is really what I would say is the most important part of your personalization, and that's adding your writing samples. So this is an example of how I would input it in, and I'll show it to you on my other persona because it's more filled out. One on OnlyFans for a PPV message, and then you do a colon, and then add your sample of writing. When you add all of these writing samples, GPT's becomes like 1,000x better because it really will feel, breathe, and be an extension of you as a creator. Without the writing samples, you're not going to get over that initial hurdle, and you are going to get some of that more AI flowery language, which is what you want to avoid. So truly, 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 personalization is so important. We try to walk you guys through it initially upon sign up. There's like a little onboarding step by step we push you through. It's because the personalization really makes GPTs like a cut above the rest. You can even add your personal emojis that you like to use. And then again, you could write at a writing style. So if you want dominant, you put dominant, aggressive, bratty, whatever it might be. And then your languages. So GPT supports, I think we're up to 12 or 15 different languages now, which is really great. And so if you are in other languages or you have fans that are in other languages, you can in chat ask to, give me the same response, but in whatever language, and it'll translate and give it to you. But you can also put your content preferences in your language preferences here in your writing style. So once you have all of that saved, you just hit save and close, and then you've gone through personalization with GPTs. I will also just go here to give you a walkthrough of what real filled out personalization kind of looks like. So again, so let me pivot. Here we go. So I have a lot of information here. I'm girl next door. I say my platforms here. I do dabble in some fetish BDSM. I love to import really descriptive, erotic, sensual language. I'm most known for JOI. So this is kind of like, I just want GPTs to know this about me, because whenever it gives me an output, if it does so knowing this, it's going to be better. I also say never use certain words. I don't say daddy in my content. It's just not something I do. I also never use hashtags, so I'd let it know that. I'm witty, clever, and seductive is kind of like my kind of how my brand and my tone is. And then I go into, yeah, all of this. So I've even taken time to ask GPTs, like personally, like this is who I am. I tell it all about myself, and then I'll prompt it, knowing this, what are the most important things you need to know about me? And then it would give me this output, and then I would come and I'd fill in here. So you can even use GPTs to help you with some of this. Content style, okay, this is my other persona, so it's very, very, very filled out. My writing style, you can see here. So these are the writing samples I have for the platforms I use. A great way of pulling your writing samples, just go in your platforms, pull from your past post of like, this is a only OFPPV that got a lot of unlocks, pull that, put that as your OFPPV one or your loyal fans PPV one, your mani vids, your clips for sale, whatever it might be. Also, your social media captions. If you have a really good social post that performed well, pull that exact caption, paste it in here. And that's going to give you those writing samples that you really need. For emojis, I said don't use emojis. I can always enter those later the way I see it. My writing style is seductive, again, English. So this is where you get and edit your persona. You can also toggle down to these little setting wheels to get there. And then I also want to go into memories. Memories is something that is very hard to do in AI. You're not going to see anything here in fast mode because there's no context, but if you go into contextual mode, you'll see I have some memories that GPTs has created. Memories is essentially the learning blocks for GPTs. It's things you want it to remember and apply more or less always. So obviously my stage name is MelRose Michaels. It should know this. It'll apply across all things. It's not going to change. My audience mostly interacts with me on OnlyFans, which is true. My content preferences. So GPTs knows I prefer solo content, roleplay, interactive elements, intimacy, flirting. So these things, they'll populate as you use GPTs, as it tries to learn you and remember you. But you can also go in here and you can delete them. So like this was the first one. It was a morning message I was trying to draft. So I can delete this memory and now it's gone. I can also go in and I can edit memories. So reference body parts and suggest a layout. Let's see it. Let's edit this one. So content involves stripping, partially undressing, and lots of teasing. So you can edit your memories, and then again, these memories will play into all future responses GPT generates from you, because it's not like personalization. It's a memory about who you are, who your brand is, your persona, and all the rest. And this is only in contextual mode. Fast mode is going to give you responses, but it's not going to pull from your memories. Contextual mode pulls from your memories. So this is the one to use, but it's going to make GPTs run a little bit slower. So depending on what you're doing, you might want to toggle between. And all of this is, again, accessible on mobile as well. So that is how you go through personalization. I hope that was useful and thorough for you guys. What
Yeah,
is our next one?
amazing. Thank you.
Mhm.
The other question was, Valentina, I'm curious, is the main difference between this app and ChatGPT simply that will deal with kink sex, which is often banned on ChatGPT, or are there other things this tool does that GPT does not?
Yes, so there's two core differences as it stands now. And then there's a bunch of things that are about to happen with GPTs that I can't go into that will make it a completely different thing to ChatGPT. So the first main difference is it not only allows explicit language and it allows, kink fetish terms, language and like that, but it also it's not going to give you that content policy hit. Like I know with ChatGPT, it is loosening its restrictions, but if you say certain things or if you frame it certain ways, you're still going to get that response like this violates our content policies. So you kind of have to dance around it. Obviously, with GPTs, you don't have to do it. It embraces all things, adult creator, all things sex work, all things kink, fetish, dom, and all the rest. The other difference is ChatGPT is built on ChatGPT knowledge base of like the wide internet. That's its own AI, right? ChatGPT's own AI. Our AI, we built it ourselves. So when I say that, I'm saying that it's built off of my experience and the experience of actual sex workers and creatives. So it's pulling from our knowledge base of experience, not from whatever's out there on the internet, which is a lot of bad information. So when you have an AI that really understands adult content creation, really understands sex work, really understands all the kink and fetish elements that go into it, really understands sales psychology, really understands aftercare, like these are elements that ChatGPT, it's not going to know, it's not going to be as familiar with, or it's not going to be in like thorough with because it wasn't trained for our use cases or our specific needs. It can do pretty well on some things, but there's things, especially because it's our own AI, that it performs extraordinarily well at. So in addition to that, the things that are coming down the pipeline, all I can say and show you, because I'm going to get in trouble, is that this little guy here is a extension that is coming out for GPTs. So the extension already exists. We're not going to show you too much of it. It already exists, and it means that you can take GPTs on the sidebar of your screen for whatever you do on the internet. Whether that's, having it popped open to help you write a tweet or having it popped open to help you respond to a fan DM, whatever it may be. But what I will say is that that extension is going to become very robust in the very near future, and it will be a huge separation from what ChatGPT can do currently, especially on adult platforms. So I'll leave that at that for now.
Wonderful. Thank you. We're very
Mhm.
excited to know what that is. You're good with the tease and the denial right now. So the other question that Valentina you had, this is a revelation, but I feel like I am missing so much of the base knowledge on OnlyFans, Loyal Fans, or Clip for Sale that it is over my head. Are you saying that these are script ideas that we then might do a voice or video recording saying out the scenario, or have a script for filming?
Yes. So right now, one of the things that I am most known for in my work personally is JOI, whether that's like Dom geared or like more vanilla geared. But so I will go in and I'll ask GPTs to like write me a JOI script. And then the way I've been filming, which it's really my work has in my value and quality of work has really increased for this because I mean I've been at this 13 years. So all my JOIs from the year before last all sound the same. And I noticed this because it's like the same kind of, instructions, the same kind of whatever. You just get in your like own little creative bubble. But with like using GPTs to write the scripts, then I will copy the script. So like it'll be like this. So write me a GOI script with a countdown for a video that's 10 minutes long. And I'm in my vanilla persona, think mode on. Let me spell this correctly, and then I would send it. And then when it gives me the script back from GPTs, I will either take it in Canvas, edit and tweak it so it's exactly what I want, or I will go into edit in Canvas, and I'll remove often the additional stuff, like the fluff it gives me, like the explanation or these like subtitle things, like script in this. Like I don't need all of this if I'm taking it into a teleprompter, which is what I've been doing. So if I were to, let's see, I'll just pull this one so we can get through it. So if I was to take this into Canvas, I would typically, I'm gonna use the script in a teleprompter app on my phone to film it. So what I would want is only the words I'm gonna say, right? Because I don't want the teleprompter to like go through all this other crap. So I would just pull and delete out all of this, and I would go straight into the opening scene in the script. So I don't need any of this stuff. I just want purely the script. And then I would go through, find out where the script ends, end scene, okay. And then I don't want any of this fluff in my teleprompter because I don't need it. I don't need this because I don't need to know when it's happening. I don't need any stage directions, final shot. Need more scripts. Okay, so here's some more build up. I don't need to know that. This is all directions. Okay, so let's say I've gotten this cleaned up, and now the only thing remaining is the actual script, no stage directions. Okay, so now that I've got the script, I would save it. And then it's purely the script, and I would just copy it, copy as plain text, and I would take it and either airdrop it to myself or send it to myself in Telegram is typically what I do. And then once I've gotten it there in Telegram, I paste it into my Teleprompter app, set it up on my tripod, hit the record button. I can see the actual text on the screen. So I'll even show you the Teleprompter app I've been using is called, it's not sponsored, I mean, I'm not an affiliate, but it's called Big View. And I'll make it bigger so I could show the screen, show the class. It looks like this, the app. It's like a purple and blue camera, and it's BIGVU. And then it'll actually show me the text on screen. It's really great because you can shoot vertical or horizontal, and it just makes it so much easier to, so here's a script. So I'll input my script, and then it'll be like this. And then I can see it while I'm filming. It does a little countdown for you. So you're seeing my setup. And then the text will go over the screen. Make it black so you can see. And it starts scrolling, and then you can just read it while you're recording. And then this specific app is the reason I use it is because it has some effects where it can do depth of field blur where all the other teleprompters can't. So you get that like nice, almost portrait mode, like high-end filming quality, even while using the teleprompter app. I actually film all of our SexWork CEO videos on the teleprompter app as well. So that's how I would do a script. I would finalize, create the script in GPTs, edit in Canvas until it's like perfect, and then take out all the fluff so it's purely script. Then I copy it over into the teleprompter app, then film it. This is really, really useful, especially for any custom content, like making sure the name gets in enough times, making sure all the elements of the fan script gets in. Actually, when I'm doing custom scripts or custom content for fans, I often will go to this share button here or here, and I'll actually share the custom video script with the fan for their approval so that they feel like, oh yeah, this is exactly the custom video I'm wanting or the like what I'm purchasing, so they feel good about it. I prefer this share button just because you go from this one, you can share either just the AI response, you can share the AI response with your prompt so the fan can see, for example, what you asked it for, or just the entire chat. And then once you've selected what you want to share, you can generate a link, you give that to a fan, and then the fan can just paste it and they can see what they're dealing with or what they're looking at for what their custom video is going to be like, which is super useful. It's like really increased fan happiness with customs because oftentimes like they love to dream up some incredible, amazing thing, but not actually articulate or communicate it. So this has been a really useful way of tackling that as well.
Mhm.
Hopefully that helps.
Yes, this is wonderful. Really revolutionary, I shall say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, there was a question from Mistress Red. I have a huge backlog of erotic story ideas where I have little bits and pieces written, notes and general concepts written down. Would I be able to upload these as documents and have it help me flesh it out into a full story?
Yes, absolutely. That's where that PDF upload is going to come in. Just being able to go in, pull whatever your PDF is, and then upload it here, and then just prompt it. Like this, give it a little summary. This is a story about whatever, whatever. My goal for it is to end with whatever outcome. Help me flesh out the rest of the story or the details in the story. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great use case for sure.
Yes, perfect. So, does anyone else have questions or would like to utilize this opportunity for a demo?
You guys don't have to be shy. I'm at your service. And this is just really cool. You guys are a huge part of GPT's the Dom community. It was very unexpected because I tend to think through things of my own lens, and my core lens isn't Dom. So like seeing all the users and seeing all these incredible creators come through and using on all these different ways, like it's really neat to see the use cases evolve and like how when something happens in our landscape, whether that's like legislation or politically or whatever, watching the tool come in to support the creators. Like, one of the things was new restricted words that came out due to the policies that, well, let me see, due to policies that were released with the credit card companies. So like we developed this restricted words feature. So if you click on restrict words, it would take out any restricted words that the credit card processors don't allow. So for example, this is a restricted word. It just kind of dashes it out to bring your attention to it. If I unrestrict it, you can see what that is, mind control. So this is a great way to like utilize GPTs as a second like catch all for review, especially when you're in kink and fetish where you might be putting your platforms at risk if you say the wrong language or something gets flagged, you know? So this was another feature that kind of came about from the Dom need in our community, and it's been really, really useful. So just bring that to your attention too. That was one of the things I want to make sure I mentioned earlier. When I see stuff like this in restricted, that's again, I'll go into Canvas and I'll change that word into being something else so that I can copy and paste the script as it is and not have to worry about getting flagged for anything. But yeah.
Wow,
Awesome.
that's incredible. So you have comments. Thank you so much. Love this asset. That is so impressive. I don't even know where to start with this. Wow, what an incredible program. Thank you so much for this. Definitely will watch this. This is incredible. So grateful you're sharing this with us. I already have GPT's Pro, and seeing everything I can do with it really adds to how I can incorporate it fully into my business.
Yes, good, good, good.
I
Yes.
love how cheeky it can get with asking how to move forward. The replies make me smile.
I love that too. I'm so glad. I hope you guys get a ton of value out of it. I wanted to do this because, again, this is a huge part of our community. I don't ever want anyone to feel like they're underserved or they're not supported by the stuff we do at SexRxEO or the tools we put out. And also, there's really big things coming. So, if you guys have any feedback, please follow us at SexRxEO. Like, tweet at me. We're all hands on deck here. I have a fantastic team of sex workers, sex work adjacent creators, all of it that help support me to do what I do and to make sure that we can evolve these tools to better suit you guys. So if there's any feedback or suggestions, please don't be afraid to let us know. We're always listening and trying to make it better.
Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
It's been a
So does anyone want to ask anything last before we end the session?
so sweet.
Okay. We will close the screen share.
Wonderful.
And yes, so ladies, you can, for those of you watching the replay, you can also write your feedback in the replay section. I will add MelRose's links so you can all follow her, find her, and the link for GPTs as well on the platform. And yes, thank you so much for offering this crash course to us, introducing something so revolutionary to all of us.
You're so sweet. Thank you for having me. If you also if you're not familiar too, we have the CEO Society. Mistress Malissia's content is getting published there tomorrow and inside our own classroom to support other creators that maybe aren't even in the Dom space yet, but want to learn about it and want to get more involved on this aspect of things. So that'll be up on our community CEO Society.app. It's a school application based app, so it is totally accessible on mobile, on phone. It's super easy, lots of support, lots of tips, tricks. We have a lot of DOMs in there as well. So you can find some like-minded people and kind of strategize and trade information there too. So thank you guys so much for having me. This has been awesome. Oh yes, question. We have Amy Daniels.
Hi, I'm sorry I missed the beginning, so I hope that this wasn't already asked. But I heard you say that you have a part of the process where you can have an assistant as part of your team. So as somebody who's like new, that doesn't have an OnlyFans or loyal fans and who's interested, but is like maybe needs like guidance, do you think like is there a part where having an assistant or somebody who knows these platforms may be part of the process of helping to like go through and to like kind of guide the process?
You
Like
mean
as
like
like I don't know, maybe like you have a directory of people or like that that know the insides and outs of the platform that we can like connect to, that help us to like navigate the system and almost in a way to like utilize it, because it does feel like a lot of information, right? For somebody who doesn't like know the ins and outs, and it's like, oh my God, there's all this information, but like, how do I streamline it into a way that I can put it really to use to like get a functioning client base, loyal fans, only fans? Does that
Yeah,
make
so
sense?
I think so, yeah. So there's two things. One of the things is, let me share screen really quick. Um, is our YouTube channel. So Sexwork CEO has its own YouTube channel, which you'll find a lot of GPT's valuable videos there too. But GPT's has its own YouTube channel, which is much more just tutorial based. Like you're going to get the screen share. I'm going to show you where to click for everything. So if you go to GPT's on YouTube, our channel has kind of the basic tutorial videos for a lot of these needs. So creating a dick rating script, creating your persona, replying to fans, creating a video script, generating content ideas, welcome messages, creating a business plan, caption, all the rest. And then our channel is linked here with additional videos. But beyond that, inside our school community, this is the CEO Society.app private group that I mentioned. So inside here, we actually have our own GPT section, which these are like GPT's questions. These are writing, the prompts creators have used that have worked really well for them. So this is like a wealth of knowledge too. And then also, obviously, myself is in here, and then my technical partner on GPTs too. So if there's ever a bug that comes up or whatever, writing it here or emailing us on support is going to get you the quickest response. But yeah, you have this as a resource, the YouTube channel. You have GPTs inside CEO Society as a resource, and then also inside your profile here. This is one that I think gets overlooked a lot. It is the community and support. This will take you to our closed community. This takes you to blog posts, which will be really helpful, us on Twitter, but also this help section. This is our Notion with all GPTs related like help questions, help center questions. So custom, how to personalize it. It gives you all the details on that. Use cases, live cam cases, messaging cases, and then anything else you would need to know about like billing or FAQs. So yeah, there's a lot of resources available. And then if there's anything that you like can't find or don't know how to find or haven't come across, just tweet us, email us, post to me. We're pretty great about replying to every message we get here. So anything we can do to help, we will. Even if we have to go in and we'll write you the prompt ourselves. We will get you whatever you need to get the information.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Wow.
Of course. Also, in the community, there's a lot of personal assistants that are also creators that do side hustles and stuff. So we have one post dedicated to like reaching out for if you want a personal assistant or something, like there's a job posting post that can connect you to as well.
If we are new to using loyal fans, OnlyFans, etc., can we ask GPT's technical questions about how to get started and how to use the software, or is it more just for content generation?
Great question. So when you're on GPTs and you're going to get that two option response back from GPTs, that option one, the direct option on the left side, it will give you some technical things. The only danger with that is we never know how up to date it is going to be about the platforms, because like the platforms will change where something like recently, if you're an OnlyFans user, the mass message statistics jumped across the fucking board out of where it used to be. So like now things are in different places and the information might not be as accurate. The right side, that creative output that GPTs gives you, it's more for creative aspects. So like content generation, script writing, DM replies, things like that. So where I think you can still utilize it, like you'll get a generally good, it depends what you're doing, but a generally good response from the left side. I would just make sure you're giving attention to the left side response if you're asking very technical things. And if it's something that could put your account in danger, if it's, a current list of banned words, or if it's what are the current terms of service in the platform, take it for what it is, but always double check, because AI is still AI. I always put this warning out there because all of us, myself included, tend to run to ChatGPT or regular ChatGPT instead of Google these days for like, what is the answer to this question? But all AIs, no matter how good they are, no matter how big their businesses are, they all still hallucinate. It's a thing that cannot be solved for. It's when AI doesn't know an answer to something, it gets creative with a response and it generates an answer because its job is to give you an answer. So just take whatever you get with a grain of salt. And if it's something that could put your accounts at risk in any way, whether it's terms of service question or banned words question or things like that, what's allowed, rules and platforms, take it with a grain of salt, always cross-check it because it's still your livelihood and you're still ultimately going to be the one that pays the price for that and is responsible. But yeah, it can do it. It just depends on what you're kind of asking it for. So if it's like, where do I start to sign up? If you turn on that search mode, it'll probably give you the link to go sign up on LoyalFans. But it's going to be within range of whatever is available on the internet and however accurate that information currently is.
Yes, with all the AI, you want to double check always, but it's a great question. So it's good that they can give you like an overview of setting up, like how you can start, but not necessarily the actual back end of the platform. So that's
Totally.
perfect. Yes. Okay, ladies. So we're gonna close the session. I'm gonna stay in the room with you, Melrose, and I will see you all, ladies, in Dom Space. And those of you that are in the content creation challenge will receive the next prompt after this tonight.